police are searching for suspects in 3 weekend shootings. The most recent was deadly. It happened just before midnight on West Chestnut Street in the Russell neighborhood, about half a mile from Kroger. Police say they found a man with gunshot wounds. He died at the scene. Metro Police are also investigating a drive-by shooting that left a man and an 8-year-old boy hurt. Around 9:30 last night, officers were called to Kingston Avenue right off Southside Drive. When they arrived, they found the man and the boy with gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital and are expected to survive, but police say they have no suspects at the moment. And on Saturday afternoon, officers found a man shot and killed on Preston Street near Ormsby Avenue, about half a mile from Shelby Park. If you know anything about any of these shootings, you are asked to call the anonymous tip line. That number, as always, is 574-LMPD. The man accused of assaulting and harassing women in Louisville's medical district is expected in court today. In February, a judge ordered 31-year-old Antonio Coleman to undergo a psych evaluation. Coleman has a history of being arrested but then deemed incompetent to stand trial. The public defender said Coleman was evaluated and ruled incompetent as recently as October of last year. Since then, he's been before the court several more times. Today, the judge will review the results of Coleman's latest psychiatric review that's set for 9 this morning.
It is Mystic Dan down toward the inside with the lead in the final 16. Forever Young, Sierra Leone is coming. These three coming down to the wire. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's a photo of the Derby. Oh, it's a photo. Is it Mystic Dan?
There you have it. Mystic Dan wins the Kentucky Derby. The 150th Run for the Roses was truly historic, with the first photo finish in 76 years. Trainer Kenny McPeak, who had never previously won a Kentucky Oaks or Derby, now joins an elite group, just the third trainer in history to win both in the same year. It's a feat that hasn't happened since 1952. McPeak told us the road to get there, the nerves, and the agonizing moments leading up to the big win were all worth it. Jockey Brian Hernandez says it was a long time coming.
I was standing next to a monitor over here and I could see the photo. I mean, they had slow motion right to the wire, so I think I was maybe a minute or two ahead of everybody. But I felt like even watching it live that we got his head down.
My grandparents have a photo of me when I was 6 years old. I used to ride around in my dad's jock pants on my bicycle, telling him I was going to win the Kentucky Derby someday. So to be able to do this with Kenny and all our family here, it's unbelievable.
You know, even tomorrow morning we've got work to do, but yeah, it's pretty darn special.
Making the win even more incredible, it was also an Oaks Derby double, as it's called, for jockey Brian Hernandez, who you just heard from. Now the big question is if the team will head to the Preakness to compete for a Triple Crown title. Sports reporter Mason Horodisky dives into that a bit later in your morning sports. The last Kentucky Derby winner not to run in the Preakness was Rich Strike in 2022. It was a record-breaking day for placing bets at the track, perhaps unsurprising. According to Churchill Downs, bettors wagered more than $320 million at the track on Derby Day alone. That's up from around $288 million last year. The Derby itself had more than $210 million bet on the race, $10 million coming from Japan. For the whole week of racing, people bet another record $446 million. Spectators from around the world were in town this weekend to witness the historic Derby 150. Some came for the race, others for the fashion, others to just check off a bucket list item.
It's always been like a dream of ours to come, so we really wanted to come out. Fly out from California was a big thing for us. I used to live in Atlanta, Georgia, so it was something I always wanted to do when I was there, but now that I'm back in California, we finally made the trip to go back out.
Bucket list item, my dad came a few years ago with all of his college roommates. They had a hell of a boys trip here, and I thought, time to make it a girls trip.
So my first one was 149 last year. I was in the infield. It was great, but this is very much an elevated experience.
That it is. Derby 150 was the highest attended Derby since 2018, with more than 156,000 people at the track.